Yo, welcome into the show. You're watching Philadelphia Eagles Now. My name is Chase Sr., and as always, no matter where you are or how you're tuned in, thank you so much for making today's show a part of your day. And coming up, will the Philadelphia Eagles regret this offseason move? We're going to get to that and a whole lot more. But first, we are 7 days away from the start of Philadelphia Eagles training camp. Recording this show on July 15th, the Eagles will report to the NovaCare Complex in South Philadelphia on July 22nd. You know what that means? The defending Super Bowl champions are about to embark on their Super Bowl defense. If you're pumped up and excited for the return of Eagles football, I need you. I want you to hit that thumbs up icon and like the video. Speaking of training camp, Eagles running back Saquon Barkley and the defending Offensive Player of the Year is getting ready for it. This video here to my right, thanks to SF Digitals. And I want to run through some Saquon Barkley numbers from a year ago and also talk some Lane Johnson and how at the end of the day, whether the pass game is working or the run game is working, or if they're not clicking, the Eagles can rely on that stout and incredible offensive line. But let's go in depth here on Saquon as we run through his Instagram story. 9th player ever last year to rush for more than 2,000 yards in a season. He led the NFL in touches and had the lowest rate of lost yardage rushes in the NFL. So a highly efficient player during the 2024 campaign. He also had a career high 42% success rate. And get this is insane. We know how explosive he was as a player. 13.4% of his runs during the 2024 season went for 10 yards or more. That too a career high. And thanks to this Eagles offensive line, Jordan Mailata, Landon Dickerson, Cam Jurgens, last year Mekhi Becton, this year probably Tyler Steen and Lane Johnson, in addition to the Eagles' run-friendly scheme, because since Nick Sirianni came to the Philadelphia Eagles, they've been a successful running team. Saquon also averaged 2.64 yards before contact per run. A lot of you are worried about that Madden curse. I totally get it. Saquon's also going to be 29 in February, has a little bit of an injury history. But running behind this offensive line could maybe help him as far as his mileage goes as he progresses in his NFL career. That important for Philadelphia because they gave him a new contract this offseason, making him the highest paid running back in the history of football. And then furthermore, 23.8% of Saquon's runs last year resulted in a first down or a touchdown. That speaks to the efficiency. And here you see that he looks built, looks fast, looks twitchy. A couple of weeks ago, we talked about how he linked up with Edgerrin James, Marshall Faulk, Nick Sirianni, the Eagles running backs coach, medical staff, to try to come up with a plan for how he can stay fresh this upcoming season and throughout the course of his NFL career, considering that he led the NFL in touches last year. Hopefully that can happen because, man, his season last year, the best single season arguably that we've seen from a running back in NFL history, certainly the best in the history of this organization. And the better that Saquon is, the better that the Eagles are. And while it might be hard to duplicate his 2024 success, I don't think anybody out there should be expecting him to do what he did in 2024 and 2025 year over year. The chances of that are unlikely. That's okay, because I think the biggest thing for him is staying healthy. And where we're trending right now, week away from training camp, is that he looks and feels healthy. He said during mandatory minicamp back in the spring a few weeks ago, he feels as though he's just entering his prime. Now, it is fair to question that from a game planning standpoint, will other teams this year, seeing what Saquon accomplished during the 2024 campaign, do what the Kansas City Chiefs and Steve Spagnuolo did in the Super Bowl? Load the box, go heavy up front, have a bunch of defenders inside that tackle box, and sell out to try to stop Saquon Barkley. If other teams do that, the Eagles will have to counter and answer. That's what football and sports are all about. You have to adapt and evolve. You have to game plan. You have to exploit a team's weaknesses. And the tape is out. Other teams know how special, unique, and one-of-one Saquon is and how he paced this team last year. So we very well might see, to start the 2025 season, teams try to sell out as far as opposing defenses to try to stop Saquon Barkley, to force Jalen Hurts to throw the rock. Now, in the Super Bowl, in Super Bowl 59, that was fine. It's part of the reason why Hurts carved up that Chiefs defense and won Super Bowl MVP. But the Eagles will need to find success in throwing the ball. And I think this year they're going to have to find creative ways to throw the ball more effectively, because with how run heavy they were a year ago, number one rushing team in the NFL as far as the percentage of plays that they ran it, the pass game suffered, which is why it's also important that I've said this for new offensive coordinator Kevin Patullo to bring fresh, creative, modern ideas to this Philadelphia Eagles offense. Because, again, the tape is out. Other teams have spent the offseason studying Philadelphia, trying to take down the Super Bowl champions. And frankly, if the Eagles are more balanced, I think it makes them a more dangerous team, because you never know how they're going to hit you in a variety of ways, throwing it and running it. And you look at these crazy offensive numbers. This is why I think the Eagles offense could actually be better this year under Patullo than they were under Kellen Moore. If they can stay healthy, I've said it, I think that they can go on a dynastic run. This team is loaded with talent and depth, and they're still very young. But if they can be even healthier on offense, sky's the limit. A.J. Brown, DeVonta Smith, and Dallas Goedert were only on the field together for 79 of Jalen Hurts' dropbacks last year. Goedert, Smith, A.J., all missing some time. A.J. Brown and DeVonta Smith, best wide receiver duo in the NFL in my opinion, were only on the field together 58.8% of the time. So look, with running it, with throwing it, we'll see what Kevin Patullo is able to do with this offense. But what is huge in this is that regardless of what happens, throwing it or running it, what can the Eagles rely on? The backbone of their team, the backbone of their offensive unit, and that's their offensive line. Speaking of the offensive line, that's what you call a segue in this business. We've had a couple here on today's show. If you've noticed those, give me a real one down in the comment section. Lane Johnson putting up this video of an offseason workout. No big deal. He's just carrying 750 pounds like it's nothing. Yeah, he's still in his mid-30s, but best right tackle in the game and could go down as the best right tackle in the history of football. 705 pounds. There's the caption right there. That was a few pounds off. Sorry, it's hard to keep track. Look at this video. But the Eagles offensive line allowed just 3 sacks on 2,200-plus snaps a year ago. Lane Train giving up 0 sacks in 2024. So when all else fails on the offensive side of the football for Philadelphia, at least the Eagles have this offensive line, which can help to pace them and just keep their heads above water, led by Lane Johnson. And by the way, exciting announcement, we have a Lane Johnson clone in the studio with us right now. Today's poll question is this. Let's pop it up, Chip. How many rushing yards will Saquon Barkley rush for in 2025? Give me your best guesses down below in the comment section right now. Coming up around the corner, what did I say off the top? Will the Eagles regret this offseason move? We're going to segue to that part of the conversation. But first, I got to tell you about this fantastic deal thanks to our friends at Fanatics. This Eagles cutoff hoodie, you can wear it any time of the year. It's on sale, limited time only. Get yours now before they sell out. I know our Bears channel, they sold out the Fanatics site. They were $55, now on sale for just $33. How do you get hooked up and swagged up? Use that link down below. Chatsports.com/Eagles cutoff. You use that link, it takes you to Fanatics. Fanatics will know that Chase Senior Eagles Now and Chat Sports sent you. I'm going to put that link down below in the show notes and attach to the pinned comment of today's Eagles Now. So back to that topic. Will the Eagles regret this offseason move? I'm sure a lot of you have been thinking about what I'm going to talk about as far as that move goes. If you guessed that it's the CJ Gardner-Johnson trade, you are spot on. Will the Eagles in 2025 regret trading away CJ Gardner-Johnson for Kenyon Green, who last year and to start his career as a former first-round pick has been one of the worst interior offensive linemen in the game, and a late-round selection, which is good and all, but are those two elements of that trade that come back to Philadelphia going to meet the standard, the play, the impact of CD Deuce? I don't think so. So special for a variety of reasons, and this might be a hot take, but Chauncey Gardner-Johnson is going to go down as one of my favorite Eagles of all time because of the way that he plays the game and the way that he impacts the game in a multitude of areas. He has positional versatility, great instincts and ball skills. He gave this Eagles defense leadership, toughness, and swag that is not easy to replace. His awareness can't be taught. Sometimes you just have that innate feel for the game. He has it, playing in the slot and deep safety. He also has an incredibly high football IQ. What I also like about CJ Gardner-Johnson, his emotion and his toughness. Can he be difficult to handle sometimes on and off the field? For sure. But that fire has been a key cog for this Eagles defense the 2 years that he's been on this team when they've made it to the Super Bowl. And last year, I thought he played at a Pro Bowl, All-Pro level. You look at the Pro Football Focus numbers. Overall grade is 75.1, 22nd among 171 safeties. That is high-end starting caliber. But then you look at these other numbers here. We know that he's great in coverage with the instincts and the feel, the ball hawking ability, the ability to read the eyes of the quarterback, make a break on the ball, a coverage grade of 81.310. That's also where the football smarts come in. He knows where to be on the field oftentimes. The anticipatory skills at that safety spot, this is where that nickel background helps him too. He had 6 picks in 2024, third among safeties in the NFL, and then on top of that, 6 pass breakups as well. That ranked 5th among those 171 qualifying safeties. Did he miss tackles at times? Yes. Does his aggressiveness hurt him at times? For sure. He can over-pursue, and he can take himself out of plays. Is he difficult to manage, as I mentioned? No doubt about it. He's an emotional dude. You never know when he's going to pop off on a Twitch stream or in the locker room. But there's a reason why he's played a big role in winning everywhere that he's gone. He is a winning player. And I am always willing to take chances on those types of things if you can play. And CJ Gardner-Johnson is a ball player. There's something to the fact that the Eagles have gone to 2 Super Bowls with him anchoring that safety position. And when he was on this team in 2022 and he suffered that lacerated kidney, you could see the drop-off in play from him to the other options at that safety position alongside Marcus Epps and Reed Blankenship. Think about this too. Put this in perspective. CJ Gardner-Johnson in his Eagles career played 28 games in the regular season. You want to talk about making game-changing, game-altering plays, plays that can change the complexion of a ball game? It's this number right here. 12 interceptions in 28 games as an Eagle. We're not talking about a corner here. We're talking about a safety who's been able to come through with that level of production. And why I hated this trade partially, on top of getting rid of a player who I like, who brings great intangibles to this Eagles defense, the Eagles did not need to trade him. They still have plenty of cap space. They're not in a rush to extend some of their homegrown players. Nolan Smith and Jalen Carter, for instance, are not contract extension eligible until after this year. The only player of note who the Eagles would be interested in paying is Reed Blankenship, who is contract extension eligible. And with the safety market exploding, yeah, he might be due $15+ million. But you didn't have to trade away Gardner-Johnson now. You could have waited another year, and once again, he could have improved your Super Bowl chances. Whereas now, heading into 2025, there are question marks at the safety spot. I think that Blankenship is one of the more underrated safeties in the game. As a UDFA, his ascent has been incredible. But opposite of him, who will start? Will it be Sidney Brown? More of a downhill thumper, very aggressive. He'll hit you like a Mack truck. Will it be Drew Makuba, who you took in the second round out of Texas, who's kind of a CJ Gardner-Johnson clone? Nickel background last year, was his first full season playing safety for Texas, made a lot of plays on the pill, and allowed the lowest passer rating when targeted among safeties in college football. A little bit slighter as far as his size, like Gardner-Johnson, can run well like Gardner-Johnson. Makuba, a 4.4 guy, but that's a rookie. And he's an unknown player. Outside of that, Andre Sam, Tristan McCullum, Lewis Seen, all competing for that strong safety starting position when you could have had all of those players, perhaps, and still had CJ Gardner-Johnson. By the way, I know that at times he's been in the crosshairs of this Eagles fan base, and a lot of that is because of his doing. I said it earlier. You never know when he's going to say something out of pocket on a Twitch stream, on social media. But he did go on the pivot with Ryan Clark, and I thought what he said was great. Remember a couple of weeks ago, he said, the Eagles will never win a Super Bowl without me. He said, I take that back. That was disrespectful to players on that Eagles team. And if they go out and win all of these Super Bowls, I'll be happy for them because they deserve it. I thought what he said was very well said, and he is going to attend the Eagles Super Bowl ring ceremony, which is coming up this week. So a risky move here by Howie Roseman in trading away CJ Gardner-Johnson. It is definitely one that he thought long and hard about. We've heard the reports that the Eagles organization was very split from the roster to the front office to the coaching staff. A lot of members of this coaching staff did not want to move on from one of the top safeties in the game. But Howie Roseman elected to make that move. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. We'll see if the Eagles end up regretting that move. As always, thank you so much for watching the show. This has been Philadelphia Eagles Now. I'm Chase Sr., and we'll catch you soon.